I'm not gonna lie, coming into this video, I'm sort of like sitting here thinking, you know, I'm about to tell somebody something amazing. I'm about to give y'all something valuable and impressive. But then I'm also sort of here thinking, yeah, this isn't something I already didn't know. I already knew this. And I don't want to judge myself or anything. So just a preface, look at the title. If it's something you already know, you ain't got to watch it. I'm making this for the people that might find a little value in what I'm going to say. That's it. Just I wanted to get that out of the way because I know I'm going to like judge myself a little bit throughout the video. Like, why are you saying this? People already know this. But some don't. And some need just a reminder. So I'm going to go ahead and share it. So first off, how the fuck is everyone doing? I'm here. And I got inspired today to make a video. First off, I thought I'd update y'all. 5 days on NoFap. It's been really hard to keep fucking streak going, man. It's not... I mean, if you've watched one of my earlier videos when I first talked about like trying to start a streak and all, and I said how you sometimes fall into a rut where you just don't care and you just go every day and it doesn't even matter to you. That's what I was in for a while. And I'll make a video sort of going into that a little later. I've learned a lot this year, man. It's not the end of the year. And I gotta say, I'm gonna have some very interesting things to say this year. I'll definitely say that. And a lot of the videos I'm gonna make are gonna kind of like contradict some of the ones I made at the beginning of 2019 and even like toward the end of 2018. But yeah, I'm here. So, without fucking rambling, let's just get into it. So, where do I begin? Around, I don't remember where it was exactly, but I remember it was around March of April of 2019. I made this post, if you follow my Instagram. It wasn't a big post or anything. I sort of just put this picture, and I'm not going to go search for it because I can remember what I said. I basically said, you know, I want to know what it... I got to learn what it is to be a man this year. I got to learn what it... You know, I got to find out what it is to be a man within me and all that. So that was sort of like one of my big questions for 2019 and sort of like one of my big quests, you know. How am I going to become a man? What am I going to do in order to become a man, right? And as I sort of went on down that route, a lot of the advice I started to pick up, I started to listen to a lot of like the Red Pill community and MGTOW community and all that. And I was listening to those guys and sort of taking in that information. And for a while, you know, I sort of just adopted the beliefs. I took them on. I started working with them. And it wasn't long till like I sort of just hit a bump in the road where I was like, this is not working for me. And what was, you know, I remember I was just like, this sucks, man. Life, like this I don't really like living like this. You know, just sort of like the beliefs and the way I was thinking, I was just like, this ain't me. Like, I don't know. And I sort of just, but I was like, you're being a pussy, you're being a beta male, like you need to learn to become an alpha, you got to get rid of that beta within you. You know, so I basically started to suppress, reject, deny, and disown anything about me that was beta, that I would consider, or, you know, that would be considered beta. And I was just trying so hard to be this alpha male, right? Trying hard to be man enough. And then I strolled across a video later on that heavily inspired me. And I watched a few more videos I'll talk about that I got into. And I was just like, it really shifted the paradigm for me. But I'm going to talk about one in particular that really shot it out of the sky. Well, there's actually two of them that I can say both shot it out of the sky. I don't know which one I want to talk about first. I'm trying to think here. Do I want to talk about... You know what? I can talk about both of them because they both had a fucking amazing impact on me. The first one I ran into was actually Teal Swan's video. Now, I know some guys can be like, you taking advice on how to be a man from a woman? The fuck is wrong with you, right? So I watched this video she made. For those of you who've been watching my channel and all, or follow my Instagram, you know I'm a huge fan of Teal Swan and what she teaches, for the most part. And I saw this video was called the Split in the Modern Man, and I was like, fucking bet. Now before this, I had already watched her video on how to tap into your divine masculinity and whatnot. So I already had that information going into this video. If you haven't watched either one, I would highly recommend it. I think they're actually very insightful. Anyways, I watched that video. I'm not going to get too much into it, but essentially, she basically took on the role of the traditional man and the man who didn't want to take on the traditional role. And for me, that video just resonated with me so much because that was like the exact split I felt like I was having within myself, trying so hard to be this, to fit into this role, this character that community, society, I had thought that I was supposed to step into and that I couldn't be anything else. And then there was that other part of me that knew what it wanted to be, that knew who it was to an extent, that knew what that not who it was, but who knew that it really wanted to be on the inside, regardless of what anyone said and regardless of what anyone wanted of me. And that was that split I was really facing for a long time. And she basically kind of made me aware, seeing her demonstrate that made me aware of that within myself. So that sort of started me breaking down, like, okay, so what I was feeling before with knowing, hey, these beliefs probably aren't working the best for me, might not be me being a pussy beta here, right? As I would have called it then. Might not be me just being too much of a wuss to handle the role of the traditional man or something like that, right? I showed across another video. Now this one's probably the biggest video out of the entire thing. It's a TED Talk. It's called Why I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough by Justin Baldoni. I'm going to link that in the description. This video really shifted the paradigm for me and really answered the question for me that I presented at the beginning of this video. Is, well, really put the nail on the head with my quest. It was sort of like climbing this mountain, and then I get there and it's like I finally got it. I finally found the answer. Sort of, that's how I felt. And it's just an incredible 18-minute video, and I highly recommend you go watch it, but I'm going to give you a little discussion on it. How long have I been recording for? He basically goes in to talk about, his whole life. Basically, he describes how there was these roles, these traits, these characteristics that he felt he had to embody. He felt he had to be doing man stuff. He had to do things that qualified him as a man, right? He had to be this role the society wanted to be. And I love the thing he says at a certain point in the video. He just stands there and looks at the crowd and says, because he brings up that he's an actor and he's done roles, and then he's just like, you know what though, this role, I'm done performing. I love the way he just sits there. He's like, I'm done performing, done pretending. I'm done trying to be man enough. Now, that's not exactly how he said it, but it was just something like that. And like I said, if you watch the fucking video, it's just amazing. When he said that, that's exactly, like, in that moment, I resonated so much in that moment. Because it was like, that's what I felt like I had been doing this past year. Was just trying to take on a character. Was just trying to live in these characteristics, live in this idea, trying to step into the roles of what a world or what a community or what people said they wanted me to be. What they expected me, because I have dick and balls, to step into. Right? What I had to ultimately become. And he says, I'm done pretending. And basically decided he was going to start to live for himself. Start living for who he really was. And he's like, he says another thing later on in the video where he's like, we're focused on being men. Like, why don't we focus on just being good humans? Like, and that right there just lifted this burden off of me. It was just like, bro, he's right. Why? And I started to realize, why am I trying to act for anyone? Why am I trying to be anything for anyone? Now, eventually, I did find out that answer, and it was very surprising what it was, and a very upsetting one when I found out too. But I'm glad that I had the balls to really question it, and go down into the pain that I was ultimately trying to protect myself from experiencing ever again, and really ever seeing that it was still there within me at all. Again, I really highly recommend you watch the video. I don't want to make the whole video about summing up that video. I'm not making a fucking review here, but the way he just describes it, man, it's just like, it just made me realize, I'm done performing. I'm done pretending. I'm done embodying this characteristic of what a man should or is supposed to be. It's like Mahershala Ali said, I've got a world to experience, and I get to define for myself what that is. Now, for some of y'all, that might be very intelligent. For some of y'all gonna find that very dumb. That's cool. But for me personally, that statement resonates with me so much, because that's what it is for me. I get to define what my experience as a human is. I get to live as the human that I want to be. Not what the world wants me to be. Not what people say they want me to be. Not what the expectations and the pressure of the world say they want me to be. What I want to be. Some of us are forced to grow up way before others. Some of us are forced to take on that role. Some of us have to take on that role. And some of us try to take on that role. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to start being honest with who you are. What I've found about the men that I've admired the most throughout my life is that they had so much fun just being true to themselves. Not what society wanted, not what the world wanted. They weren't trying to protect themselves from anything. As a matter of fact, they were living so freely, so vulnerably, so real. And to me, I think that's what I admired the most about them. Was that was what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do for myself. And that, to me, completely eliminated this need now to be a man. To be this masculine. Like, I'm not saying that, I acknowledge the masculine and feminine energy within me. I got that, right? But I'm done making it a fucking role. I'm done making it this character that I have to perform as every day. It's draining, it's bullshit, and it's not who I am on the inside. It's not who I want to be, and it doesn't resonate with who I want to be. So that's kind of what I've learned about trying to be a man in my quest to be an alpha male, right? But again, that's my journey. What I eventually found when I did question why I was trying to be man enough, who was I trying to be a man for, I remember I sat down and I talked to someone about this, and basically that person, as I was talking, they basically pointed out, they're like, you're afraid people you aren't seen as a man by other people. And I was like, yeah, you're right about that. And eventually I kept pouring it out why I was trying to be a man, and this one statement stuck out to me where I said, I'm trying so hard to be a person that can't be manipulated, that can't be hurt, that can't be destroyed by the woman or the people in my life that have destroyed me before emotionally. I can't allow that to happen again. I can't let that go down. And when I said it, I just don't remember how I said it, but it was along those lines. Basically, I am so afraid to run into or risk that I am with someone like the last person who broke my heart. No fucking way. No fucking way. And I thought that I was learning from my lesson and growing and evolving by trying to be a man. But when I realized all I was doing was putting on a character and filling a role to eventually protect myself from the pain and the people that I wanted to avoid. I was living in, I took this role on as a disguise because on the inside I was living in fear that would get a chance to come near me again. There was no fucking way. No one was getting access to my heart. No one. And I shut it off and I sat in this character. I sat in this role. I had no trust. I had no vulnerability. I dismissed feelings. I suppressed them. I wanted to be stoic. I didn't tell people how I felt. I wasn't real. I wasn't vulnerable. I was living as in a fake persona. Because I believed that if I was vulnerable, if I was real, if I was genuine and honest to who I was, because most of those qualities are considered what you'd find in a beta male, as some of us guys would call it, that would be me. That would be like me waving a white flag that says manipulate me, I'm emotionally vulnerable. That's what I felt like I was doing. And that's why I wanted so hard to step into this identity of being a man. And by doing that, I also thought by trying so hard to be a man, women would respect me more. They would want to be around me more. And that would increase my chances of meeting someone that wasn't bullshitting. Because at the end of the day, regardless, no matter how much I thought or tried that I was going to go my own way, I wasn't. I didn't. I didn't want to go my own way. At the end of the day, I still did want connection. I did still want love. I still wanted people that fucking cared. Whether that came in the form of a fucking relationship that was romantic, friendly, platonic, don't give a fuck, man. It was just like, at the end of the day, I'm a human, and that's just something I yearn for. Some people, they don't. Fine, cool. I can't live like that. You know what I mean? How long do I have left on this? 2 minutes? This is gonna be a long video. I'm sorry. I gotta finish this off. So yeah. Almost done. Making points. I wasn't gonna continue to live like that. I wasn't. When I knew that I was living from a place of fear, insecurity, worries, and I was conforming to what the world and the communities expected of me, or what I felt would be expected of me, or what I felt like I had to step into to not be hurt again, that's all it was stepping into an identity out of fear to protect myself from pain. And by trying to protect myself from pain, I destroyed my quality of life. And I'm glad that it happened. Because now I know more than ever, authenticity is the ultimate truth. Now I know more than ever, it is a waste of fucking time to be anything else but yourself when it comes to living the best life that you possibly can. Now I know more than ever, I don't want to be anyone but Beau fucking Mueller. And I don't want anyone else in the world to decide who that's gonna be but me. Nobody gets to decide that but me. Nobody's gonna fucking tell me what I have to be. And if I'm anything else, I'm weak, beta, fucking whatever. I can't actually be loved because that version of me is too fragile, weak, people don't like it, whatever. You know what? You don't fucking like it, walk the fuck away. What's more important to me at the end of the day is not what fucking people think about me and how people will treat me as a result of me being this A, B, or C. What matters to me is the life I live and finding the people that appreciate that the fucking most. Authenticity is all I've got fucking time for now. So I'm glad that I took my journey on this quest, and it was perhaps one of the best quests I took in 2019, even though it was fucking dark, horrible, and it really put me in some just murky places. I'm glad that it got me to a place where I was able to really confront that pain, confront some beliefs, and see that it's not impossible to be steered off your path. It's very possible to be held back. It's very possible to be derailed. But it's also very possible when that happens to come back, to get yourself realigned and fucking come back to your magic. So, hopefully this video provides value to you guys. If not, cool. I just felt like putting something out and sharing it, and hopefully it really helps, man.